This is your first Q&A time writing at 120 words per minute. Your proper names are Cindy A. Harper, Dante Place, Slidell, Louisiana, Anna Ross Lawson, Leslie Harper, Stephen Harper, Stephen, Michael Harper, Michael, Northwood Drive, Slidell, California, Downey, Louisiana, and Leslie. Ready? State your full name and address, please.
Cindy A. Harper. My address is 321 Dante Place, Slidell, Louisiana.
What does the A stand for?
Anna.
Have you ever gone by any other names?
No.
My name is Ross Lawson. I'm here to ask you questions about you, the accident, your medical condition, your medical history, things that are relevant or are calculated to lead to the finding of admissible evidence. If your lawyer objects during the course of any of my questions, please stop and let him put his words on the record. If you don't understand any of my questions, please don't answer it. Ask me to repeat it or restate it, and I'll be happy to do so.
That's fine. I understand.
You're going to have to make verbal responses. That's a yes or a no or I don't know, as opposed to a nod or a shake of the head. Have you ever given a deposition previously?
No, I have not.
This is going to be produced in a booklet form. We prefer it to be extremely clear, which is why we insist on a verbal response. And finally, I'm going to do my best not to interrupt you while you're answering. By the same token, let me finish my question before you begin your answer. Do you understand those ground rules?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How long have you resided on Dante Place?
I moved there in December 1992.
Who do you reside there with?
I live there with my husband.
And what is his name?
Leslie Harper.
With who else?
My son, Stephen Harper.
How old is Stephen?
He is 15.
Anyone else?
No. My other son recently moved out of the residence.
What's his name?
Michael Harper.
How old is Michael?
17.
Where were you living before moving to Dante Place?
I lived on Northwood Drive in Slidell.
How long did you live there?
I was there for 3 months.
If, during the course of this deposition, you're not sure of an answer or later on during it, you recall something that may have been inconsistent, something might come to you, it's okay to interrupt. We're present to try and just obtain the facts.
Okay.
If it's out of order, I don't mind, okay?
Okay.
Do you own where you're residing now on Dante Place?
Correct. We're purchasing.
Where did you reside before Northwood Drive?
I resided in California.
What city?
Downey.
How long did you reside there?
I guess 18 months.
Are you from here, this area?
Correct, I am.
What were you doing in Downey?
It was an employment transfer.
For you or your husband?
Both.
It was only for an 18-month duration?
Yes.
Then the job ended?
We transferred back to the Louisiana office.
Where before Downey did you live?
We lived in Slidell. I forgot the name of the highway.
That's all right.
We resided there for 12 years.
Did you purchase that place also or rent it?
No, we owned it.
The date of your accident was May 1, 94?
That's correct, yes.
Anybody living with you at the house other than those people you've already told me?
No.
Was Michael residing there at the time?
Yes, he was living there.
You were married to Leslie?
Correct. That's correct.
Is that your first marriage?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
It will be 20 years November 1st.
Any other children other than Stephen and Michael?
No, that's it.
Have you lived constantly together that whole time since 1994?
We had a
This is your second Q&A time, writing at 120 words per minute. Your proper names are Mary Ann Bridges, Carter Street, Frederick Alvin Douglas, Mary Ann, Robert, Johnny, Dr. Goodman, and Dr. Coleman. Ready? Would you state your full name and address?
Mary Ann Bridges.
What's your address?
841 Carter Street.
What's your date of birth?
July the 29th, 1979.
July 29th, 1979.
Yes.
Do you have a driver's license?
No.
So you're 17 years old right now?
Yes.
Where do you go to school?
Frederick Alvin Douglas.
You're in your senior year coming up?
Yes.
Mary Ann, can you tell me about the accident in July 1993?
What do you want me to tell you concerning it?
Just relate it like it was a story.
We were getting ready to go somewhere. We sat in the automobile waiting on my mother, and the lady came from around the corner. She hit our automobile. I hurt my back and my neck and my head, and that's about it.
Now, do you recall anybody else who was out there when the accident happened?
A number of people.
Do you know their names?
No.
What automobile were you in when the accident happened?
The rental car.
Can you describe the automobile for me?
It was a grayish four-door automobile. I don't know the name of the automobile.
Where was it parked?
In front of our house.
Can you describe the automobile that hit you?
A yellow automobile, like an old police car.
Can you tell me where it hit the automobile that you were in?
In the back on the side, the driver's side.
Who was in the automobile with you?
Robert and Johnny.
Tell me everything that hurt after the accident. What was wrong?
My back and my head.
How long did your head hurt following the automobile accident?
It is still hurting.
When was the last time you visited a doctor?
I don't remember.
Was it some time ago?
Yes.
You have headaches infrequently, just every now and then?
Yes.
You stated you also had pain in your back. Where was that in your back?
About in the middle.
For how long did you experience this back pain?
I don't remember.
Are you still having it?
Not too much.
Do you remember Dr. Goodman?
Yes.
Have you seen her for an examination since the one time, I believe you said, after the accident occurred?
It wasn't once.
How many times did you see her after the accident?
I don't remember, but I believe it was more than once.
You visit her for other minor problems? How often do you go see her?
I haven't had an examination in a while.
Do you visit her on a yearly basis for school or any other reason?
No, I don't really get sick that much.
How many appointments did you schedule with her?
I told you I don't remember.
What problem did you tell Dr. Coleman you were experiencing?
I told her that when the car hit me, it hurt my back and I hit my head and it kind of twisted my neck.
You were situated in the rear of the automobile. Is that correct?
The middle.
You were situated in the back seat I'm talking about.
I don't remember.
You were in the middle of the back seat. Is that what you're saying? Or do you know if you were on the driver's side or the passenger side?
I don't remember.
You don't remember if you were on the driver's side or the passenger side?
No, I believe I was seated on the passenger's side, but I believe right between because I was telling him which station to put the radio on. I was.
This is your first Q&A time writing at 100 words per minute. Your proper names are Mr. Kemper, Toyota, 4-door, 2-door, and Lincoln. Excuse me. Ready? Mr. Kemper, how fast were you going when you saw the other car?
I was going about 15 miles an hour.
What happened then?
The next thing I felt was the impact, and I was knocked almost unconscious.
You were driving a Toyota?
Yes.
Was it a 4-door or a 2-door model?
It was a 2-door.
Is that car equipped with seat belts?
I don't really remember.
Do you remember whether you were wearing a seatbelt?
Yes, I always fasten the seatbelt.
So you were wearing a seatbelt, is that right?
That's right.
You don't remember what time this occurred, do you?
No.
Were you in any particular hurry to get to this other place where you had to go?
No, sir.
Did you hear a screeching of tires or honking of horns before the impact?
No, sir.
Did you attempt any evasive action before the impact?
Yes, I did.
What did you do?
I tried to speed up and get out of the way.
How did you do that? By putting your foot on the accelerator?
Yes, sir.
And were you able to accelerate?
I would assume I accelerated, but it happened so quickly.
Now, what part of your car and what part of the other car came in contact with each other?
The right front side of the Lincoln hit my left front end just above the door.
Do you mean just in front of the door?
It was demolished, the whole front end.
Where did your car end up after the impact?
In that particular spot, it just stopped completely.
What happened to the Lincoln? Was it against your car when it came to a stop?
Yes, it was. It was against my car.
Were you knocked unconscious?
I was in a daze. I was knocked out of my seat and over on the passenger side.
What was the position of your body after the impact? You said you were knocked over. Is that right?
I was knocked all the way over to the passenger side of the car on the floor area.
You were on the floor?
Yes.
Where were your legs? Were they on the floor?
I would assume they were in the air.
Where was your head? Was it on the seat or on the floor?
My head hit some object. You can't recall the details when you are being hit, you know?
Was your seatbelt still on when you were in this position?
Yes, it was still on. They are very flexible, you know. I was knocked over.
And you say your head hit something?
Yes, it did.
Do you know what it hit?
I would assume the console. I really don't know.
Your car had a floor shift?
It had a console, a floor shift.
How many impacts were there? One or more than one?
One impact.
What did you do after the impact?
I opened the passenger side of the car and
This is your second Q&A time writing at 100 words per minute, and there are no proper names. Ready? You got out of the car.
I put my feet on the ground.
You opened the passenger door.
Yes, and I sat there until I could get myself together. It was a nightmare.
How long did you sit there?
Until the police came.
Did you talk with the other driver at any time?
No.
Did the other driver remain at the scene?
Yes, he did.
When the police came, what happened?
They took me to the hospital.
Did they talk to you about the accident before they took you to the hospital?
No, sir.
Did they take you in a squad car?
No, they took me in a paddy wagon.
How did you get into the paddy wagon? Were you carried on a stretcher?
No, I was assisted by the police.
Were you in any pain at that time?
Yes, I was.
What was bothering you?
My head, my neck, my back, and my arm.
Was your head bothering you?
It was hurting.
What part of it was hurting?
Well, when you have a headache, you don't know which part of it is hurting.
You had a headache?
My head was hurting. My head banged against something.
Which part of your head hurt?
I don't know.
Was it your forehead or the back of your head?
All I know is my head was hurting.
What kind of a pain was it?
That's a difficult question for me to answer.
You can't answer it?
You have to be hit on the side of the head in order to understand it.
All right. Were you bleeding?
There was blood coming from my right hand.
Was your head bleeding?
No,
You also said your back was bothering you. What part of your back was bothering you?
the upper part.
Like in between your shoulder blades in your neck area?
Yes, sir.
Was it a sharp pain?
I get pains now.
I didn't ask you that. I asked if it was a sharp pain you felt at that time.
It wasn't a sharp pain. It was very sore. You have to be hit in order to understand what I am trying to say.
Could you turn your head from one side to the other?
My neck wasn't broken.
I didn't ask you that. I asked if you could turn your head from one side to the other.
Yes, I could.
Did it hurt you when you did it?
I don't remember.
All right. Now, you also said that your arm was bothering you. Which arm?
The right arm.
What part of your arm?
The entire arm.
You also said your hand was bleeding. Is that right?
Yes, there was a cut on my hand.
Could you move your arm?
Yes, sir.
Did any part of your arm hurt you any more than any other part?
The whole arm hurt. It was swollen.
Were you wearing a jacket at that time?
I was wearing a suit and tie just like I am wearing now.
Did the